Still here with you, excited about yet another week of really trying to help reach out here and help you and your family save your lives. And one of the biggest things here, I love this, been thinking a little bit about our recalculating route. I think that all of us, if we're being honest right now, can say that from time to time we get blown off course. And when we're off course, just like if we are on a destination, going on vacation, and when you get off on an exit and you're getting off course because you're going to go do something like get something to eat or whatever, then all of a sudden your GPS says recalculating route, and it'll tell you directions on how to get back on course. And so one of the biggest things I think is that assessment of ourselves and saying that, right now might be a time where we've been blown off course. And, we have to assess really where we're at and assess our ability. And as the Marines say, assess, adapt, and overcome. And so in this assessment, adaptation, and overcoming, we look at the fact that we are now having to recalculate our route. And it might not be fun. It's definitely inconvenient. And what we're going to talk about today is how the 5 essentials can implement a recalculating route for you to get you back on course. Because one of the biggest things I want to say is that my office and the show is dedicated to helping people reach their life potential. And so when we have this desired place that we want to go, we have this God-given being led to a certain destination to which we want to be, in which we want for our lives, therefore to set it up for our families, and our legacy in life. When we get blown off course, which we all do, it's about that recalculating. And so many times in our health, especially now, we have to ask ourselves certain questions. So first of all, the 5 essentials, it's our mindset, and then our nerve systems, the connection between mindset and body. Then it's our exercise, our nutrition, and our detoxification. Those 5 things are needing to be assessed because they are the 5E, the 5 essentials. Those 5 essentials dictate how our bodies are ability to adhere to the principle. Something that I'm very blessed to have experienced and been immersed in is the principle of health, and want to help bring more of that to you and more of this principle. A principle or a law is something that can't be broken, and like gravity. So, no one questions if you jump off a building, are you going to end up falling all the way down? And if you don't have a safety net, then that's it, right? No one questions the law of gravity. No one questions so many of these different laws that govern the way that God set up the world and that we are making our way through it. But yet there are principles to health. And so the principle, one of them is to get the big idea and all else follows. And so right now, one of the big principles is that big idea, so many people have scratched their head. B.J. Palmer coined that phrase a long time ago, probably around 1900 or 1895. And it's about this, get the big idea and all else follows. And it's not there's one big idea. It's the big idea of that subject, so that then that law, you can apply that principles downstream, or that principle or law downstream, to be able to allow you to get the most out of whatever that concept is. And so in health, it is that the more resistance you have to the expression of your life, the more limited your life will be. So the less interference to your life, the more life will be expressed through you. And so the 5 essentials are meant to eliminate the stress or eliminate the resistance to the expression of your God-given health potential and therefore your life potential. And when we stay focused on this principle, it applies throughout time, and it will apply throughout this current where we're at and being blown off course. So I want you to use this functional conversation here to assess how off course are you. And, when I think on, moving over to sailing, or, hey, we can stay with driving, whatever, but yet when a ship is blown off course, and let's say that they're going, across the ocean, several thousand miles, and yet if they're blown 1 degree off and they only stay off course for a little while, well, it's not a big deal to recalculate their route to get back on course. But if they stay off course for a few weeks or a few months, that division from where they were pointed to where they deviated, the gap becomes bigger and bigger the longer we stay on that course. And therefore, so does the time and the effort in the amount of regression or time it takes to get back to recalculating our route. I know so many of us have experienced that you're on that trip and you're like, no, I know the way. I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm shutting that thing down. I know that thing. I know better than Google. And so I'm going to go this way. Well, so many times, the longer we stay off course, the more off course that we literally become, and the more ingrained, the more dangerous that is to the number one thing, our mindset. The principle that the more off our mindset is, the worse that our lives will be, because we're believing things that are a lie or misguided or uninformed and aren't truth in principle and in law. And so, during this time period, how's your mindset been? And are you spending too much time on the tell you a vision? And are you watching things that are the vision of the way other people are seeing it? Or are you filling yourself, your heart, your mind with the things that are always going to be true? That is that, the better you are, the better everything else is, including your immune system. And so when we think about that, tell you a vision, if you're not tuned into the things that are building you up, and you're caught up in fear and in lack of faith and in desperation, then your cup is being filled and you only have so much space in between our ears. And if it's being filled up with the fear instead of faith, then that's what will manifest. And so that mindset will then manifest in different choices. And then it goes back to, how's that affecting your choices in the 5 essentials? How does that affect your choices with your exercise, your nutrition, your chiropractic, and your detoxification? Because if your mindset is toxic, then you might not be making your recalculating your route choices in this best avenue, the shortest distance, with the least amount of traffic, with the least amount of resistance to your progress. And therefore, it may take you longer. It may take more effort. It's like in sailing when you're having to tack back and forth to go against the wind, yet your course is upwind. Your destination is that way, but yet the wind is blowing at you. You are feeling resistance, and you're having to tack against that back and forth to reach your destination. Pardon me. And so, having faith, confidence, and belief to the fact that you can adapt, or you can assess, adapt, and overcome. So the 5 essentials, number 1 is your mindset. And I would implore you to tune into things like this show and to other, the Max Living website, our Facebook site, and get your mindset ingrained. Start getting involved with those people who are doing the fact that they're addressing their 5 essentials because they want to stay on course. They have a destination. And even though this storm has blown in on us and that we are having to recalculate our route due to changes in things, how have you recalculated? Let's start with the connection between your mindset and your body is the nerve system. And if you've been recalculating your route on how you're going to fit in your home care exercises, have you been recalculating your route on how you're going to keep up with your chiropractic adjustments? Have you been recalculating your route to where, hey, have I even been checked? Has my family been checked? Do I understand the principle that all of life is experienced throughout the nervous system and is controlled and coordinated through the expression of life from the brain to the body things flowing above, down, inside, out, and that our life is expressed this way, and that's the way our bodies were created. If that's not a principle in your life, if that's not something that you've experienced yet, then that's the first question, is to make sure that you're recalculating your route through making sure that your body is expressing to its potential through a properly functioning nerve system. So many people experience symptoms like headaches and digestive issues, or they have lack of energy, or they have maybe pain, headaches, neck pain, back pain, all these things that are warning signs that their spine on the outside is not at peace. Therefore, the nerve system on the inside is not at peace. And therefore, whatever's at the end of that internet called our nerve system is not going to be functioning at its optimum level. And that will then affect, if that's your pancreas, then it might be expressed as diabetes. If it's your blood flow to your brain, it might be expressed as a headache. If it's expressed as, if it's muscles in your low back, then it might be low back pain. But whatever that red flag is, it's saying to you, pay attention to me and get this checked. And the checkup determines the actions that you need to recalculate your route to get this life expression put back on to its maximum potential so the rest of your body can reach its potential as you assess the 5E, the 5 essentials. And so, one of those things that I'm seeing a lot right now is with the mindset, the increase in stress. So this mindset's increasing stress, which increases, let me finish that thought process here. Apologize. If you have not had your checkup, if your family, if your friends, if your loved ones have not had that, then 706-657-4777 or choosehealthchiropractic.com. Shoot us a message. You can actually text us 657-4777 and let us know how many people you need. And then as a new patient, we'll schedule your appointments or get you reactivated as a patient if you used to be. And this has kind of drug you off course and you want to get back on course. You want to recalculate your route to health. Well, then just give us a call or a text. Anna or myself will reach out to you and we'll make sure to get you what you need, whether that's a new patient appointment or just getting reactivated and getting adjusted, and so that we can get this life expression turned back on. All right. So the mindset of the 5E and recalculating your route. When we look at this, next that mindset has your stress levels gone up? And I mean, mine have. And so when we look at all these things, what have I done to recalculate my route towards health and a life that's 100 years old with my beautiful, wonderful, amazing wife? I'm actually recording this TV show right here today, folks. This is my 10th anniversary today, and I am so blessed to have this wonderful wife, Megan, who I'm very ultimately thankful for. And we've had these amazing 3 kids, and my son Waylon being the 4th, and then we have this new baby Eliana, and oh my gosh, life has just been so amazing, and it's going to get even better as we move from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 years of life together, because that's our route. That's our plan. I have this vision of us, seeing our grandchildren and maybe our great-grandchildren born. Even though we got a late start with all these kids, we're still going to pull that off. And so it's about that. That's my route. That's what I want, And so what am I going to do to get there? Because this stress has overcome so many of my normal habits. So, stress levels go up. What happens? Cortisol goes up. Blood pressure goes up, platelets, clotting factors, cholesterol, inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, which we all know, the higher the C-reactive protein levels are, the more prone. That means that your immune system's going to be down modulated, which means that you could be more susceptible to a virus or one of these RNA viruses like we're experiencing now. And therefore, that's going to really suppress my immune system. So, wow. What can I do within the 5 essentials to manage my stress levels? So, of course, we're lowering our stress to lower our cortisol, to lower our C-reactive protein and our inflammation. And we're going to use the 5 essentials to do so. So it's that mindset of positive things and focusing on positive outcomes and staring at your goal and staying on recalculating your route. And then you look at, okay, so now I've been to the chiropractor, I'm getting adjusted, I'm making sure my nerve system's controlling the rest of my body. Now I've got to deal with my nutritional inflammation and anything that's driving C-reactive protein or any of the other inflammatory markers up. So when I look at nutrition, one of these essentials, what am I going to do to make sure that I'm producing less inflammation? I'm eating an anti-inflammatory diet. So number one is the more alive the food is, the more alive you are. The more processed it is, the more your body has to process it to get anything out of it. That's a drain on your energy, which drains less for your immune system, which drains less for healing and cellular regeneration. So you want to eat that anti-inflammatory diet. What is that? That anti-inflammatory diet is spelled out beautifully in the advanced plan in your book, the Align Your Health. And you just want to, pick it up. If you not in the office regularly lately, then order it online. Align Your Health. It's by BJ Hardy. And you want to get this advanced plan anti-inflammatory diet that's super low in sugars, so that you're eating only things like Granny Smith apples, berries, lemons, limes, grapefruit. You're only getting healthy fats from nuts and seeds and grass-fed organic meat and dairy, and that you're not eating the high glycemic or even mid-glycemic index fruits. And this is that anti-inflammatory diet and how you can reduce the other factors that are driving stress up on your body and increasing inflammation. You're literally using your nutrition to fight inflammation, to lower your inflammatory markers, to boost your immune system so that you're back to on course to where you want to be, to your goal, and how to educate your children to have the same thing also. And so, if nutrition's not as big of a deal, for you, then maybe it's time to move into one of these other essentials. So again, same breakdown. It's always the same assessment. Google doesn't just choose a new place for you to recalculate your route. It's still your destination. And so, you can see here on my arms, I just saw that on the video, you can see I've got a altered state here, a poison ivy, that one's altered some of my behaviors. Not been able to get out and sweat as much outside in the sunshine because this has gotten the better of me. So I've had to start working out indoors, which is our next essential to talk about as we're recalculating our route towards that destination of health and life. Age 100 with my children, my grandchildren, maybe my great-grandchildren, and getting to be healthy and happy. It's not I want the cruise ship, not the nursing home. What do you want? So as we recalculate our route towards that, I'm using my exercise. Like I said, hey, this is just in the last 2 weeks, but in general, with this recent changes in our economy and things, I've been more focused on working out in the parking lot. What have you done? Assessing how this storm that has blown you off course, have you assessed your exercise? And then what are you going to do to get back on route? If the gym's closed for a while, thank God they're back open, but yet, what did you do during that time period? Now that the gym's back open, how are you going to reintegrate yourself into going to the gym? If that was your deal. For me, I've implemented riding bikes, so everything closed down, but yet me and my family, we could get on our bikes. And man, we've been hammering exercise on the bikes. I get home from work most nights. It's before dinner. We go out, we ride for 30 minutes to an hour, then we come back and we eat a little later. That's not ideal for our nutrition, but yet it's that bonding family time, which is mindset for me. It's mixed in with my exercise. And then I try to complement it with an anti-inflammatory meal. And so I'm always ending my day and also trying to begin my day as I start my days with, my home care, which is my neck traction, my wobble disc, my exercises that I need to do to create subluxation free, right? Subluxation slayer, removing the misalignments within our bodies and within our nerve system that compromise the electrical life force expression of our bodies. Literally, that life force flow from above down, inside out, is literally flowing every millisecond, trying to enliven the regeneration of our bodies. And therefore, it needs daily attention, just like my teeth with brushing and flossing, and just like a shower every day. And so that's our spinal hygiene, is your home care. And so that's implemented with the wrapping up of my exercise day and my nutritional day, so that I can go to bed and sleep and help my body reach that regeneration phase to which our bodies need it. Pardon me. So when we look at this, right now we're looking at ourselves and recalculating that route. And we've made our way through the mindsets that help us. And it's always, we're building. It's all, every one of these. That's why I love the 5 essentials, that they all build upon each other. And when you're implementing one, you're implementing all of them, and they help build on each other. And so looking at that, we've started with the mindset of filling ourselves with faith instead of fear. We're lowering our stress that way, which lowers our cortisol, which lowers our inflammatory markers. We're eating in a way that's reducing those inflammatory markers, that anti-inflammatory nutrition. We've made sure that our nerve system is subluxation free, and that it's allowing that life force to flow above, down, inside out. We've now utilized our exercise, and see, the exercise is sweating. That sweating is detoxification. That sweating is the burning off of, or the exercises in utilizing that is the burning off of cortisol, and utilizing. That's why I love Max T3. That's why I love the that burst style training, and being able to get back on course with doing my adjustments or my exercise here in the parking lot. I realized I wasn't going to be doing as many things out like at the gym or something, so I implemented bike rides. What are you going to implement? What's your assessment, and what has this storm done to you, this pandemic, then in allowing you to get off course? And what are you doing to recalculate in all of these areas to get back on course? And so, like I said, they're building all on each other, and this exercise is, like I said, we're burning that cortisol, sweating out the toxins, and it's breathing in fresh air and allowing ourselves, for heaven's sakes, you know what? The science is that, if you're within 6 feet of someone else, 10 feet, whatever, then if you choose to wear the mask, fine, go right ahead. But yet the fact is that when you're out in space and we're here, then utilize that time to get fresh oxygen into the body. The masks do cause anoxia, and you're breathing more carbon monoxide being exhaled. So utilize the times that you are without the mask to really enliven your body with fresh oxygen, breathing deeply, exercising to the point of really having to slow down and get your breath back. And stay committed to this principle that your body is always better the more you are in line with the principles of health, which that's what the 5E is getting us back on recalculating that route to getting expression of life. And then that leads us into minimizing toxins. As I see my time is kind of drawing to an end, that's detoxification happening through the sweating. We're putting in less toxins from inflammatory nutrition. So we're minimizing that during this time of high stress to get us back on course. And so we have less to get rid of in the first place because we're minimizing processed food, we're minimizing sugar, we're allowing our bodies to have less stress so that it can spend that time building up our immune system. It can spend that time and that energy building up regeneration. And then we have less sludge to get rid of. Wow. And so when we look at the 5 essentials, that's the big thing I want for everyone right now, is to literally slay the subluxations in our brain, the misalignments that are leading us away from the principles of truth. And the principles of truth is that a healthier you, reducing comorbidities, always allows your body to have a better defense system to adapt and overcome. Your body is always assessing, adapting, and overcoming. And the things that we put in our lives that limit our body's ability to assess, adapt, and overcome is what robs us of our life expression. Subluxations rob our body of the proper information coming back from the body to the brain so that the brain can make proper decisions to recalculate the route. That's the biggest thing about subluxations of the spine. It alters the connection between the brain and the body, altering the amount of information the brain has to create recalculation and regeneration. It creates blind spots out there in the body, and the brain makes decisions every millisecond to get the most out of our health. So if you're subluxated, your body is not going to have the proper connection in that afferent efferent loop going from brain to body and body back to brain. And so that's the big deal in subluxation. That's the big deal. And so getting checked, minimizing subluxations is step 1, because your mindset's changing. You're filling yourself with love and faith and not fear. You're fasting from the tell-you-a-vision of a world that is unable to deal with this, when in fact, the more reduced comorbidities, the more life expression you have, the less worry you have. So that lowers your stress levels. Your lowered stress levels allow you to make better decisions and have better hormonal balance. Your nerve system is free of subluxation. You're connected. Your body's expressing life at 100%. You're making an anti-inflammatory diet and nutrition changes. You're exercising properly to minimize your stress. All of these things stack together to allow your body to detoxify better, which is minimizing toxicity, which is last essential of the 5E, and you're allowing these things to just allow your body to express life, which gives you more confidence, literally more life, better quality, better quantity, and then you have less fear. So it's this nice loop of how you can recalculate your route. So assess these essentials. Assess them in your life, assess how your posture's doing, how your chiropractic's doing, your mindset, what are you filling yourself with. Assess these things, your exercise and how you've adapted to changes, your nutrition and how you've adapted to changes, and how your detoxification is going. And then make adjustments. And remember, the number one thing is it's not all or nothing, folks. It's about one step better is one step better. Make a decision today to just do one step better and just take that step and get used to that integrating in your life. And then tomorrow you can make another step. Right? And so here's blessings and love and respect to all of you who are out here who are tuning in. And if you feel compelled, share this on with your Facebook friends, or like it on YouTube, or anything. Thank you for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel, here on Health a Second Opinion. See ya.